discussed on this podcast are determined by the Justice Coordinating Commission of the Sisters of Providence of St. Mary of the Woods, Indiana. Guest opinions do not necessarily reflect those of the Sisters of Providence. To learn more, go to www.spsmw.org.
Welcome to Just Us, where we talk with social justice advocates and change makers across many disciplines and areas of influence. Each episode invites us to learn how some among us are working to create an equitable human community by influencing changes, small and large. Through shared stories, conversation, and inspiration, you will learn how you can make a difference in your community. I am today's host, Sister Barbara Batista, a Sister of Providence. Let's find out how we can make a difference in our communities. As Carrie Newcomer says in her song, "If not now, tell me when." In today's episode, we're going to hear from Joan Frizz, a Providence associate and the executive director of Just Creations, a nonprofit fair trade store in Louisville, Kentucky. Joan, welcome, and tell us a bit about yourself and how you got into the fair trade community.
Good morning, Barbara. Thank you for having me. The short answer as to how I got into fair trade is Providence. And I have always been a mission-driven individual. My background is in math and theology. I was in ministry before I landed in Louisville, Kentucky. And when I saw the ad for the job at Just Creations, I thought, that is my job. It had the perfect combination of the detail-oriented business math stuff and then the mission behind the store as a fair trade store. And so I found that combining those skills that I had enabled me to lead this business on an ethical path.
Wonderful. That sounds like truly a match made in heaven.
Yes, I hope it's true.
Could you expand a bit on that concept of fair trade? To help us understand what it is?
Sure. So the short answer to what fair trade is, it's a trading system that provides sustainable employment opportunities to marginalized artisans and farmers in developing countries.
Okay.
The textbook definition, if you want that, fair trade is a trading partnership based on dialogue, transparency, and respect that seeks greater equity in international trade, and it contributes to the sustainable development by offering better training conditions and securing the rights of marginalized producers and workers, especially in the South.
The South, the global South?
The global South.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're talking worldwide.
We're talking worldwide, yes.
Wonderful. Could you help us understand a little bit more about that federation you just mentioned?
So the Fair Trade Federation is an organization of North American fair trade businesses who are dedicated to a set of principles that are some of the highest standards in business practices in terms of equity, equality, fairness across the supply chain. So it's an organization that it's a membership organization of North American businesses. They are based. They have developed 9 principles around which all of the organizations, the member organizations, would commit.
Wonderful. Some of those principles.
So basic principles of working with the most marginalized and opening new market opportunities for individuals who are sometimes shut out of the regular conventional trade system. Paying promptly and fairly, supporting safe and empowering working conditions, no child labor, gender equity, respect for cultural identity. Trying to ensure that the most marginalized, those without skill, those without education, those without opportunity, have a chance to get into the global market.
Wonderful. So I also understand there's this thing called Circle of Fair Trade. Is that part of that circle?
Well, so the Circle of Fair Trade is something that we at Just Creations kind of created as a concept, so to help people understand how fair trade actually works. So the circle, if think with me in pictures here.
Sure.
So if you as a customer at Just Creations buy a product, then we are going to make an order through our vendor. They are then going to place an order with the artisan group. After the product is completed, it goes back to the vendor, and at Just Creations we buy it. And then we have it to offer to our customers. So you can see the cyclical nature of the business. It's not necessarily as direct as you buy that, I order that, and because we're talking about thousands of products and artisan partners. So it's not a direct thing, but the concept of we buy it, you buy it, we order it again. They're making the order with the artisans, and that is what sustains the employment opportunities for the artisans, because they are constantly working on these orders from their trading partners here in the U.S.
Wonderful. So let's say I make a purchase because my niece's son is completing a really intense program for his wellness. And so I really want to help celebrate that for him. So then I complete that circle when I buy something from your store and I give it to my niece's son, basically my great nephew, then that's that circle.
Yes.
Great. So tell me a little bit though, since customers want products that are based on trends, how do your vendors help those artists, the actual producers of items, to develop items that will sell?
So we are one step removed from that process. So the vendors that we work with are working directly with the artisan groups, and we carry products from about 45 different countries.
Wonderful.
So they're working with the artisan groups. They're understanding what their traditional art forms are, and then developing product to meet those, to the skills that they have. They're not trying to get them to make things that they don't traditionally make.
Great.
So a jewelry maker is going to make jewelry and not clothing or coffee or anything like that. So those groups, there are people who study retail trends. There are reports out there, and so it's those groups, what we are vendors to us, who are studying some of those trends, so that they can inform the artisans as to what the trends are, whether it's color, whether it's style. I had an early mentor in my experience at Just Creations where I was trying to grasp, what does all this mean? And he said that we inform rather than form the art. So we, on the U.S. side, and as vendors working directly with the artisans, they are informing them about the trends and about what's popular and what's selling here in the U.S. They're also planning far in advance. These are more visionary people who have to plan in advance, because to get production done in a timely manner, so that they're ready for this holiday season. They started a year ago in producing products. So there are people out there in this world who are doing that advanced visioning and looking at those trends.
Yeah, so I've been in stores like yours. I can't say that I've been in your store. However, it occurs to me that perhaps you also influence the person's making the purchase that somehow by how you present the products, how you market them, that I would like to think that you're influencing the consumer, the dollars and cents spent on gifts or household products or whatever else we, especially in the United States, tend to think we need.
Right. One of the principles of fair trade is promoting fair trade. And so it's not just here's product to buy, but here's product that Mary made in pick a country. And the fact that Mary made it enables her to send her children to school, earn a fair wage, not be reliant upon perhaps a man in her family. And that gets into the gender equity and the opportunities for women, the equal opportunities for women to earn the same wage as men doing the same work. A fight we continually strive for here in the U.S. and worldwide, right? So we at Just Creations take that responsibility to share and promote about fair trade very seriously by providing artisan information to accompany a lot of the products that we carry in our store. And then just being a mission-driven marketplace, we want people to understand that we're not just a purveyor of goods, that we are there are people behind our products, and that your purchase makes a difference in their lives.
That's that circle that you talked about earlier. I mean, it's a great example that it truly is, you close the loop. Yeah. And then perhaps it ends up being more kind of like a spiral, in that the persons might come back or learn that they really appreciate supporting local artisans.
Right.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So we've got some call to actions. Do you want to put some out there for our listeners?
I do.
We really like to have that in our, every time we publish a series here, we really want to make it as, I don't know if the word is easy, but we want to make sure our listeners know how to make a difference.
So I think you understand the concept that every time you make a purchase, that you spend money, you are casting a vote for the kind of world that you want.
Exactly.
And it demonstrates your values. And so fair trade is a value. So when you need a gift or home decor or maybe a personal indulgence like coffee or chocolate, my challenge for you and for all your listeners is to think fair trade first.
Great.
I need to buy coffee. I'm thinking, where can I buy fair trade coffee? Or chocolate? Chocolate is one of the worst industries for child labor. And only 5% of all chocolate is fairly traded.
Wow, that is sobering, especially as, as we come into a time of the year.
Right.
When
we eat a lot of chocolate.
Eat a lot of chocolate around here.
Yeah. So knowing that your purchasing decisions have a direct impact on the lives and livelihoods of people who've made those products or who've grown the cocoa or picked the coffee. So if you have a fair trade store in your area, visit your fair trade store. If you don't, visit your fair trade store online. Most fair trade stores are online. Just Creations is online. Volunteer. Maybe you can't spend a lot of money, but if you have a fair trade store, do they have volunteer opportunities? We have volunteer opportunities. It's a great opportunity for people to meet other people in the community who have similar values and want to make a difference in their community, and they're making a difference in the lives of the artisans and the farmers as well.
That sounds great. Along the lines of volunteering, I seem to remember you used to collect paper bags, reusable
we do.
bags. Are you still doing that?
We do that. It's part of our environmental commitment, where we are try to limit the purchasing that we have to do of paper or plastic bags. So we take donations. Not all stores do, but we take donations of gently used, clean paper bags that we can then use when people make a purchase. It helps our environmental impact as well as our bottom line. So we don't have to buy the bags, and we can put more into the business of supporting the artisan partners that we work with.
That's wonderful. I can't recall if you gave us the link or the address, or how do we find a local fair trade in our area?
Okay, so the Fair Trade Federation, fairtradefederation.org, takes you to the Fair Trade Federation page, and you can search for members, search for stores, and you can do that regionally. And then, of course, I'd want you to go to justcreations.org to find Just Creations and learn a little bit more about us as our individual store, but also the fair trade.
That's wonderful. Do you have any closing thoughts or remarks or something perhaps I didn't ask about that you want our listeners to know?
There's a whole lot of things that we can do in our lives and choices we make. And I think if we start with the basic choices of who do we want to buy from and who do we want to support, and really understand that we are demonstrating our values by how we spend our money. And we have choices. So you can go to a big box store, or you can go to a local store, and which, just on the local standpoint, take out fair trade. On a local standpoint, the majority of that money, at least 75% of the money you spend in a local store, stays in that community. That is not the case for the big box stores. So you have lots of opportunities to make those choices. And then, of course, I would say, because it would be a dereliction of my duty as a fair trader, that we want you to think fair trade first. Is there an opportunity to support fair trade and the marginalized artisans that we're supporting through your basic purchases? And then it leads to a change in lifestyle, we hope.
Wonderful. I hear in there that relationship, that it's about relating not only to the artisans, but the persons that helped get the product here, you as the, operator, owner of the store, but then also that when I use whatever this product is I might have purchased, that it's a relationship.
Yeah. And that is fundamentally, fair trade is based on relationships, and they are long-term, sustained relationships. It's not anybody going in and saying, "Oh, you have this basket, I'm going to buy that basket from you today," and then we never see them again. Mm-hmm. So that's also a big difference between what we call conventional trade and then fair trade.
Wonderful.
Because we want to continually engage with those artisans who are making those baskets.
Wow, that's great. So I really appreciate our conversation, Joan, and I want to thank the Just Us listeners for sharing this time and space with us today. We hope that you're inspired and have learned from Joan. And are you now ready to make a difference within your own community and beyond? Will you consider fair trade first the next time you need to purchase something? If not now, tell me when. We hope you enjoyed this episode and will share it with others. Please leave your comments, review, and any suggested topics at spsmw.org. Talk with you soon.